Thank you, Mr President. I thank members for their contributions. The Honourable Mr Gumbies, the Honourable Nicholas Centofanti, the Honourable Mr Bernardi, the Honourable Mr Hanson, the Honourable Ms Henderson and the Honourable Ian Hunter. Look, in concluding this debate, I think the Honourable Ian Hunter has summed up my sentiments pretty nicely. I think it's important, though, that the theme that seems to run through the opposition to this bill is, I think, encapsulated by the Honourable Ms Henderson, where she refers to a birth certificate as being a biological fact, or based on biological fact, not familial structure. That is not a view that is supported by law in Australia, Mr President. Indeed, it is a long-established principle that in states right across the country that the government issues a post-adoptive birth certificate listing the adoptive, that is non-biological parents, as the legal parents at the time of birth once an adoption is completed. So it is a long-established principle that the birth certificate doesn't recognise biology, rather it recognises the family structure. Now, the suggestion that simply because someone doesn't breastfeed or hasn't given birth and that therefore they are not a mother is something that I think a lot of people in the South Australian community would find deeply offensive, whether they be mothers who have adopted children, whether they are stepmothers and the like. This kind of reductive view of motherhood, I think, really is out of step with 21st century South Australia. And I think it's a window into why the Liberal Party are not likely to be a party of government anytime soon here in South Australia, because parties of government seek to represent the whole community. They're not parties that seek to represent narrow sectional interests and play culture wars. I listened to the Honourable Cory Bernardi with courtesy. I asked for the same courtesy in return. Despite my opposition to his views, I did listen to what he had to say, as I did all members. So I don't appreciate being heckled when I'm talking about an important matter. This is a pretty simple proposal. It's not earth-shattering. It's not going to turn the world on its axis. But what it will do is deliver a simple change that will help a lot of families and will be welcomed by a lot of same-sex couples here in our state. I think it's important to note, in summing up, I first became aware of this matter when I was contacted by a constituent who had, they were a same-sex couple. They'd gone through the process of having a child, lesbian couple, and when they went to register with great excitement and get a birth certificate for their newborn child, they realised only one, the birth mother, could be recognised on the birth certificate, and the other mother had to be reduced to seeing her contribution listed as a co-parent. And they said, how can this be that this is the case in the law of South Australia? If this child had been born over in WA or over in the ACT, both parents would have been appropriately listed on the birth certificate. And to highlight how absurd this is, Mr President, members will be aware that I'm a donor to some friends of mine, and so I have two beautiful children through them, and they're a beautiful lesbian couple, two mums. Their children were born over in the ACT, and so both of the kids have their mums recognised appropriately on the birth certificate. Had those children been born here in South Australia, only one of the mothers would have been recognised as a mother. I mean, really, that is absurd, and it's time for the law to change. So I thank the Labor Party for their support of this bill, and I look forward to its speedy passage through this place.